And it is a glorious day today as our country celebrates its 75th Republic Day. Today, the country honors individuals who have done noteworthy work and selfless service given to the public. Amongst the 34 Padma awardees who are being bestowed this honor are several of the unsung heroes of our country, such as India's first female elephant mahout, the noted environmentalists, a plastic surgeon who's working tirelessly for burn victims, and social workers as well. I get this unique opportunity to speak to some of the most well-deserving Padma awardees of our country for this year. I start my conversation with a special guest, a Padma awardee, Dr. Ashwin Balachand Mehta. He is a cardiologist. He is receiving the Padma Bhushan from the country, from the government. And welcome on the show, sir. And of course, how is it the feeling that you get when you have been picked to be receiving the Padma Award this year?
It came as a surprise to me. Till 11 o'clock yesterday, I was not aware. When I got the call from the ministry, I was feeling very highly gratified. And you know, my first impression was that as a doctor, I'm supposed to do my duties. And my duty is to the welfare of the people, looking after their health. And this I should do, and I'm expected to do as best as I can. And yet, while you are performing your normal duty, which you are required of, and yet the government recognizes it and offers you an accolade, I think is nothing less than just a gratitude. And this recognition inspired me that I should do better and better for the society. This was my reaction.
How have your friends and families reacted to this big news?
Well, in family, I have two daughters and my wife. Both the daughters are married and they're with their husbands and in their own homes. So when I broke the news, they felt very proud that Dad, we are so happy that you've been honored by the government. And they said that this gives us an inspiration that we should try to, because you raise the bar so high that it's difficult to achieve that. I said, nothing like that. Hard work always pays, and you have a long journey. Still, you have a lot of time. So just work hard in the right direction and be kind to people and be useful to the society. And one day you also will get the recognition. This was the reaction from the family and my interaction with my family. And my wife, of course, was so very happy. And I must admit, she was a great support, because my irregular working hours, so many times I used to break the appointment with her. We have to go to movie or something, and then I have to cancel the ticket at the last minute, because my job was very demanding type. And therefore, she bore all kinds of pains and disappointments from me, and she tolerated and always gave me a smile. So that, I think, was a great support.
Dr. Mehta, you are one of the pioneers in interventional cardiology in India. If you could tell us more about your journey, what is it about your work that has been taken, the highlight for the government of India to give you the award?
Actually, I came from a middle-class background. When my father came to Mumbai, he was not educated, but he used to do the job of a peon, and then he started studying at night, and then eventually passed a matriculation examination. That was considered as a reasonably good education in those days. I'm talking of 1930s and 40s. And then thereafter, he became an advocate and started his practice, and he educated me. And while I was studying, I had no other burden except studying. And then in 1973, after completing my MD in Mumbai, and I was fortunate that I secured 19 gold medals. I was first in medicine, I was first in surgery. I was first in gynecology. I was first in ophthalmology. I was first in grand total. And then when I appeared my postgraduate examination, I got another three gold medals. So my career I was fortunate to have a good career, and this helped me to march forward. When I went to United States and then I studied there, United States for 3 years, and I did my cardiology there in Chicago, and then I came back to Bombay and joined Just Look Hospital. And believe me, from 1973 till today, I am working incessantly, continuously at Just Look Hospital. But simultaneously, I also had an assignment at Sion Hospital. Now, Sion Hospital is a teaching institute, and there it's a medical college. So there I used to uh, teach the undergraduate students and the postgraduate students both. And today I'm proud that number of my students from various parts of they're working in the various parts of the country, and they are providing state of art cardiology to the people in their locality. And this, I think, is my great investment. And I think this is my contribution to the country, that my students are offering state of art cardiology services all over the country, in the various parts of the country. Um, whilst I was doing my cardiology, I had certain privileges, and I had a lot of drive. I'm type A personality, by the way, and therefore uh, I was competitive all the time. I was one of the first ones to start the angiography. And at that time in 1973, angiography was considered as a big procedure. So much so that the patients from even ministries from Delhi and all would come down to Bombay to get their angiography done. This I did with my colleague, Dr. Sushil Munshi, who had had some training in Vellore. And this is how we started. Then we were the first ones in Maharashtra to start to do echocardiography. Then I was one of the first ones and early ones to start angioplasty, along with some people like Dr. Matthew, Dr. Pelajani, and Dr. In Delhi, forget the name now. But we were the early ones to start angioplasty in India. And today, the practice of angioplasty has reached such a standard that you can compare with some of the best centers in the world. So I feel gratified that when I look back, that I've traveled the journey, and during journey, there have been the ups and downs in terms of successes and failures. Sometimes I would feel very upset that the patient is not doing well after my procedure, and these are the something which I have to bear with. When you play with fire, someday you burn the fingers. But this was a limitation of science, limitation of the procedure, and sometimes the pathology is so very bad that we cannot expect good outcome in each and every patient. So the journey is long, and I can say lots of things, but I think the time is constrained. So briefly, incidentally, in 2002, I was the first one in the country to put a drug-eluting stent. Now, the stents that we use currently are coated with drug, and that, I think, reduces the chance of recurrence of the disease within the stent. That, I think, was a remarkable achievement, and it was a landmark achievement in the history of cardiology.
Dr. Mehta, what inspired you to become a doctor? What were the challenges that you overcame?
Well, I think the most important issue is that when a man around the age of 40 or 45, when he's at the zenith of his career, and at that point of time, all of a sudden, unexpectedly, like a bolt from the blue, he develops a massive heart attack, and some of them are lost before even they reach the hospital. Now, this is enigmatic, because how come that these people who never ever complained of any kind of discomfort, any illnesses in the past, never had spent a single day in the hospital, and just their first episode in their life is the sudden cardiac death or a massive heart attack. How to find out those kinds of people who are at such a high risk, and how do we treat them and prevent such a catastrophe? That I think is a major issue. And I think of late we are hearing that people who have gone to gym, or people with whom you have spent nice good holidays in Europe, and then when you come back, and then the very next day you realize that you get the news, the bad news, that and shocking news that he is no more. And you wonder how we was within Switzerland, and we climbed Jungfrau, and then suddenly, without any symptoms, without any warning, and then the first ever episode in their life is massive heart attack and even sometimes death. That I think is not only enigmatic but is shocking. So let me explain to you how it happens. What happens is that our coronary arteries, two in number, have a good flow because they have a good lumen, and it supplies flow adequately both in the situation of rest and in the situation of stress. Stress means physical activities, climbing staircases, and running, jogging. The blood supply to each and every heart muscle or each and every nook and corner of heart is adequate. Now, over a period of time, slowly the deposits of calcium, lipids, the fat, cholesterol starts making the lumen narrower, and because the deposit is on the wall, and when it becomes narrow, still it is not detectable because there are certain compensatory mechanisms, as we may call it, still continue to allow good flow both at rest and demand until.
Okay, fair enough. I am also interested, and so are our viewers, about what do you think are the factors that will shape healthcare and medicine in our country in the next decade?
I find a lot of awareness, and especially in the urban area. And incidence of heart attacks are higher. Incidence of the heart attack is higher in urban population than in the rural population. And the reasons are probably the stress factor could be lower in the rural areas. The people do a lot of physical activity. And today, if I have to start from my home, I use my lift, and I sit in the car, I go to the hospital, use the lift again. So physical activity, unless I indulge specifically into physical activity, my day-to-day work does not involve a lot of physical activity. Their earning, their work, they are all is associated with reasonable amount of non-recreational physical activity. That could be one reason. Now, I also find that here, I think currently the high school boys and girls, they spend 2 hours a day in front of a fluorescent screen, be it a video, be it a mobile phone, be it computer, or be a TV screen, and they on an average spend about 2 hours every day, whilst instead of that, they should be on a football ground. But where are football grounds in Bombay? The grounds are rapidly disappearing. And I think government should do something in this direction, that the schools and every school, it should be compulsory that they should have an attached playground, and they should be encouraged. Gym should be taught and regularly practiced in the school-going boys. And I think the boys and girls should be refraining from fast food, and all this fast food is contributed significantly in development of prematurely obesity, and what we call it is potato couch syndrome. People sit on the couch, keep on eating wafers and the hot dogs and the hamburgers and keep on watching TV. This, I think, is the current generation is applying in their life, and that this lifestyle is totally unacceptable. So these are the problems of healthcare in India. Now, I do know that I find lots of people, when I go to the park, I find a lot of people coming early morning and they're regularly jogging, regularly exercising. So it's a good sign, but still we have a lot of work to do in terms of educating people.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Ashwin Balachand Mehta, for joining us on the telecast. And once again, congratulations to you for the Padma Bhushan. Joining me also on the telecast right now is Maya Tandon. She's joining me from Rajasthan. She has received the Padma Award. She works in the field of road safety. She has trained over 1 lakh people to help in the rescue of injured people during road accidents. Thank you so much, Miss Maya, for joining us on the telecast. First of all, congratulations for the Padma Award. Were you expecting that you would be handpicked by the Prime Minister for this accolade?
We had applied 5-6 months ago, and I never expected that without doing anything on my own, I would be chosen. And I'm really honored that the Prime Minister has put my name there. And at the age of 87, and this is almost 3 decades that I'm into how to save the life of a road accident victim. I feel proud that I'm doing this job, and I'm also getting the initiation to do it more with my passion and go ahead just because of this honor that has been bestowed upon me by the Honorable Prime Minister today.
Absolutely. Maya Tandon, how is your family, your children, your grandchildren reacting to this?
My children are with me only. My son and daughter-in-law live with me, and they have daughter, and everybody has really reacted very well. They are very excited, and I'm happy that I have a family which is so close to my heart, and they've always encouraged me to do whatever I felt like. So I have been at the SMS Medical College right through almost 60 years now that I'm connected with them. I did my MBBS, DA anesthesia, MD MS anesthesia, and then became tutor, lecturer, reader, professor, senior professor, head of department anesthesia at SMS Medical College. And just because in the year 1974-75, from the SMS Medical College, when I was lecturer in anesthesia, I'd gone on deputation to the Commonwealth Fellowship in Pediatric Anesthesia in UK, and that 1 year made me so confident that I can do justice to the Department of Anesthesia. So when I came back thereafter, the Jekyll Hospital was under construction, and I laid a hand there in the upcoming of the operation theaters and the intensive care unit at Jekyll Hospital, which is the only pediatric hospital in Rajasthan.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. And you have delved in so many of these social causes, and congratulations to you, and your services are appreciated, and that's why the Padma Award to you, Padma Shri Award to you. If you could take us back through the journey of how did you stumble upon the idea that it's integral that the victims of road accidents are given immediate medical facilities, immediate medical aid. And how did your journey start?
You see, soon after, when I retired in February 1995, before that, there was one 3-day seminar in police headquarters in Jaipur. That was at the initiation of my professor, Dr. N.P. Singh, late Dr. N.P. Singh now, and he said that I have to organize it. So while I was superintendent at Jekyll, that 3-day seminar really worked well because all the senior police officers had joined that. During that period, there was a photographer who had taken the 3 days pictures for us, videos for us. And when he got injured in a road accident few months ago, he called me up there. He said, today I'm alive only because of you. And being a senior medical faculty and retiring from there, I felt in case I enter into this field of social work in which I'm connected directly with the public and doing justice to the public to say that I can save a lot of lives. anesthesia is a branch in which we are front runners in saving lives because we are in charge of the intensive care units.
Yes.
So I started this soon after my retirement, and it's almost 30 years that I'm into this practice, and I'm not all alone. My family is foremost. They said they wanted me to do something, and I'm there because of them. Secondly, when I started this journey, I had opened a trust in Dr. Maya Tandon Memorial Charitable Trust in name of my late husband. But just because few people had already died, so a new team came up in January 2014, and almost 10 years now that this team is with me, in which I have medical consultants and administrative officers. And the very good thing that I'm wanting to convey to you is that just because I'm now 87, it's not possible for me and others to go everywhere in Rajasthan or in India or this thing. So we have trained the second generation. We have two very big stalwarts youth who have taken our course as a training or trainers course. And this course is a medical component. And
So
just
when you build these teams, you started building these teams 30 years ago. And,
Yes.
and how did you start getting people interested, young people interested in this program?
Young people, we have always had young people, because initially when at the RTO office I was giving, I had young people with me. Even then the team was there, but now the team is there on payment, and just because they are there, they are and they are youth of today. So you can say 3% of GDP of our country is lost in road accidents. So these youth have been trained to say that wherever they want, I mean, we want them to go, they are going and saving lives. As for the where cardiopulmonary resuscitation is being taught on a mannequin, and this is what American Heart Association says. But in the year 2017, the Indian Resuscitation, which is the body of the anesthesiologists, they took permission from the Indian Medical Council to say that they are going to promote not chest compression and mouth-to-mouth ventilation. They said in India we only have to give 120 cardiac compressions in the center of the sternum and 2.5
Okay. And of course, these people who are trained under you and under your team are then given all these guidelines and taught in this emergency medical aid that is to be provided to the road accident victims. Also, Maya Tandon ji, I would like to understand from you a rough estimate on a daily basis or on a weekly basis, how many road accident victims are rescued or offered medical help by your team?
No. This is not, that is why I was saying. What I was trying to say is we do not go and rescue the patients. We give training to the patients. And in this training, as I was saying, in cardiopulmonary resuscitation, we give only compression, only life support.
Okay.
Secondly, a sequential handling. This is unique. Our thing is unique, in which we say that instantly at the site of accident, the person has to give how to head to toe. Just give a glance, and the person has to say how they can save a life. If there is a unconscious victim, head injury patient, and the person is unconscious, then they have to put the patient in the 90-degree log roll position so that from the mouth, all these things come out.
Okay, all right. That's thank you so much, Maya Tandon ji, for joining us on the telecast. Congratulations to you for this commendable social service that you're doing and thereby saving hundreds and thousands and millions of lives. All right, let me quickly introduce on the telecast with us Janki Lal of Bhilwara city in Rajasthan. He has received the Padma Shri award as well. He is one who is credited with keeping the Bahupriya art alive and has also performed it in more than 10 countries. Bahupriya art is a form of art of dressing up as and essaying different characters on stage. जानकी लाल जी हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. सबसे पहले तो आपके बहुत बहुत कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस, बहुत बधाई इस पद्मश्री का जो आपको अवार्ड मिला है?
आपको भी बताइए ना।
मुझे जानकी लाल जी ये बताइए कि जो आपका जो आर्ट फॉर्म है, आपने 10 जगहों पे, 10 कंट्रीज में, विदेश में जाकर भी अपनी आर्ट फॉर्म को डिपिक्ट किया है, अपनी आर्ट फॉर्म को दिखाया है, और इसके साथ इससे आपको प्रसिद्धि मिली है, आपको काफी प्रोत्साहन मिला है। पर अपनी आर्ट फॉर्म के बारे में कुछ बताइए हमें।
राजस्थान में मैं दिल्ली से लगा के, बाड़मेर से लगा के, जोधपुर में, जयपुर में, इधर गोवा, दमन, जो पणजी और उदयपुर, नाथद्वारा, कांकरोली, राजस्थान में खूब गया। बाहर भी विदेशों में लंदन गया, बर्मिंघम गया, न्यूयॉर्क गया, जर्मन गया, रोम गया, ऐसा 5 कंट्री में गया। इसमें मेरे को मंकी नाम से बंदर के फौज में मुझे बहुत ही सराहा और बहुत ही वो काम उज्जवल रहा, अच्छा रहा। मुझे यह गर्व है कि ये आज जो मैं कला को लेकर ठेर से अपनी 16 वर्ष की उम्र से अभी तक ये कला को कर रहा हूँ, जीवित कर रखी है, चल रहा हूँ। इसीलिए मुझे अवार्ड मिला, और आप लोगों की बहुत बहुत कृपा, भारत सरकार की तरफ से, मोदी सरकार की तरफ से बड़े पद्मश्री मिल रहा है, उससे मुझे गर्व है। और मेरे गांव में, भीलवाड़ा में सभी आदमी लोग, बाजार वाले, मार्केट वाले खूब मार मेरी बधाई करने को, देने को आ रहे हैं, बड़ी कृपा है
जी। यहाँ पे आपका जो ये आर्ट फॉर्म है, इसको कहते हैं बहुरूपिया, इसका अर्थ क्या है? इसका अर्थ क्या है? और आप कौन कौन से रूप, कौन कौन से कैरेक्टर्स धारण कर चुके हैं अब तक?
ये कारण तो ये है कि राजा महाराजा के जमाने में बाण होता, उसका बेरुपये अलग होते हैं, बाण और अलग होते हैं। बाण हिंदू में से होते हैं, बेरुपये ये बाकी कोई जयपुर में या दिल्ली के आसपास के एरिया में ये बेरुपये ऐसे वो मोमेंट है। हमको दरबार की रियासत से, जैसे अभी ये पद्मश्री मिल रही, ऐसे ही दरबार की तरफ से हम कोई ब्याह शादी में जाते थे या कोई खुशियां मनाते थे, दरबार शादी ब्याह में हुआ, कोई त्योहार हुआ, उसमें बाण अपना विचित्र वेशभूषा बना के जाता था, राजा महाराजा को हंसाता था। वहाँ बहरदर राजा महाराजा में फौज वगैरह सब थी, इस तरह से हम फौजी वाले को सबको हंसाना करना, इसी विषय में हमारा मान सम्मान बढ़ता। और ये सबसे फिर से ये बेरुपया कला में आजकल बेरुपये के नाम से सभी समझ जाते, बाण के नाम से थोड़ा सा कम समझते हैं
जी। और मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूंगी, कितने सालों से आप इस आर्ट फॉर्म, बहुरूपिया आर्ट फॉर्म को पोर्ट्रे कर रहे हैं, परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं?
मैं जब से 16 वर्ष की उम्र से मैं मेरे पिताजी के साथ में काम करता था, कभी लेडीज में, कभी जेंट्स में, कभी घड़ोलिया लावार, ईरानी का फौज, कंजर, कंजरी, कालबेलिया ग्रुप ऐसे बनते थे, उनके साथ में बोली करते थे, हंसी मजाक करते थे, आदमियों को आश्रित करते थे। हम दोनों बाप बेटे वो देखते थे, जब हमारा पब्लिक देखती कि देखो यार, ये भी अपने बाप बेटे हैं, ये बाप की बेटा बाप की लुगाई बना हुआ है, या बाप बेटे की लुगाई बना हुआ है, और ये इतना मनोरंजन करते हैं। ये परंपरा फिर से चली आ रही है, और हम ब्याह शादियों में जाते, हर मेरी कला को करके मैं राजी करता हूँ, वहां से मुझे इनाम करा देते हैं। ये
जी बिल्कुल। अब क्या आपकी, जैसे कि आप अपने पिताजी के साथ, उनसे आपने ये आर्ट फॉर्म को सीखा और उनके साथ आप परफॉर्म करने जाते थे और अभी भी परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं, क्या आपकी जो पुश्ते हैं आगे, आपके बेटा बेटी, उनके बच्चे, क्या इस या आपके जो गांव में, एरिया में, उनको भी आप इस आर्ट फॉर्म को सिखा रहे हैं? ये आर्ट फॉर्म आगे आपके द्वारा, आपके परिवार द्वारा, आपकी कम्युनिटी द्वारा आगे बढ़ रही है?
ऐसा हमारे परिवार में भी कोई नहीं करता, और ये कला जब तक अब जो मुफ्त हो रही है, ये मैं एक आदमी हूँ जो इसी तरह से मैंने अपना जीवन गुजारा किया, बच्चों को पढ़ाया, पोते को पढ़ाया, बेटों को बनाया, शादी की। इसी से मैंने 2 रुपया गला से कमा खा खा के ये काम किया। अब ये जो कला जब तक जीवित रहती, अभी मुझे कोई गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से आश्वासन मिले या कोई प्लॉट मिले, अपनी समाज वालों को, अपने बच्चे पोतों को मैं सिखा सकूं, ऐसा कोई होए। अब यहाँ गुजर बसर कर रहे हैं ये जो मखर।
जी बिल्कुल, हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया जानकी लाल भांजी। वंस अगेन आपको एक और बार बहुत बहुत बधाई पद्मश्री अवार्ड से नवाजे जाने के लिए। Also on the telecast right now with me is Dr. Tejas Patel. Tejas Patel is one of the best cardiologists in our country who is known for his groundbreaking achievement in the field of cardiology. His experience of over 1 lakh cath lab procedures is the highest in our country and one of the highest in the world as well. Thank you so much for joining us on the telecast, Dr. Tejas. Of course, my first question to you. Congratulations first of all for this Padma award that you are receiving, and how does it feel to be awarded this big honor?
I feel very happy, I feel very satisfied, and there is tremendous sense of fulfillment.
How did you receive this news? How did your family, your friends react to it?
It is very happy atmosphere all around, because in this field, you know, I am working since almost 32 years, and this is a dream of any professional to reach this destination. Unfortunately, there are very few who are able to reach. I am one of the chosen one and one of the lucky one to reach this. And the government has recognized my work. They have taken a note of my work, and you know, they have rewarded me, you know, by giving this award. That's the reason why, you know, I am extremely thankful, and I express my heartfelt gratitude towards our Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Bhai Modi and our Honorable Home Minister Sri Amit Bhai Shah for considering me worthy for this award.
You are a pioneer in transradial angioplasty. Could you also tell our viewers about your journey and what is your work all about?
Yeah, this journey actually started since 1990. I became interventional cardiologist since 91, and then I got myself trained in US and then subsequently in France for advanced technologies and techniques available at that point of time. And I came and started practicing in Institute of Cardiology, which is now a big place in the name of UN Mehta Institute. It was a very small place at that point of time, having 1-2 wards in civil hospital on the ground floor and 1 cath lab, ICU, and few patients we were able to keep. And in that small place, primitive place, we worked extremely hard to deliver some very, very good results, which was, you know, which were considered good, and we had lot of research going on at that time, which was published in the top journals in US, and that is how, you know, I was recognized. But then I came to see, I saw one of my actually very close friend and my mentor for transradial, Dr. Shigeru Saito, in Japan, Kamakura, doing radial practice, which was extremely new at that time in the world, and he was doing in small Japanese population, left, right, and center. And I realized that it is possible on Indian population, although it was ridiculed before a few years, considering Indian population's radial artery small and not good for transradial. And then subsequently I started working, and then I started documenting everything with my colleague Dr. Sanjay Shah and my team. and we created some very good literature, and we started teaching this to others, and we were the one who started first time the radial in big way in United States also and many other countries. And that is how it was a sort of reverse outsourcing, and we got recognized in our country for this. It came not from India initially. To start with, it came from the Western world, because these guys are good to train us, and that is how the Indian cardiology started noticing us. And then in 17 regular courses, TRICO, Transcatheter Intervention course, we trained several generations of interventional cardiologists of India and abroad. Every year almost around 400 to 425 cardiologists for 2 days, and live cases. Every single tricks of this field we have taught them, and that is what is my contribution.
How have some of your interventions and innovations impacted the field of cardiology?
Radial impacted not only the field of Indian cardiology, but across the globe. Like when we started in India, the uptake of transradial angioplasties was 0, and now it is 70%. Only 30% get groin puncture. In United States, when I started, it was 0.1%, and now it is around 70-75%, and several other countries. So that is one. Then we took over, like robotic. Robotic, of course, has certain issues, but considering robo as some technology which has always created tremendous vibrations in whichever field it has entered, I started working on it, and it is the largest series in the world. And my most important contribution in robo was distant telerobotic, sitting 30 miles away from my place, that is Apex Art Institute, from Akshardham, Gandhinagar, just by giving command through the joysticks, to the robo in the cath lab of Apex. We did 5 consecutive cases, and this is for the first time any first in human intervention, was done in India ever. Like bypass surgery was first done was in US, like angioplasty was first in human case was done in Switzerland, valve first case was done in America, heart transplant first case was done in South Africa, so on and so forth. But then I brought honor and pride for my country by doing this. And at that point of time also, government, under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Bhai Modi, helped me a lot to get all the necessary permissions, which were difficult to get to do this.
You have also performed the world's first 5 telerobotic coronary interventions in 2018, which is a procedure that was pioneered by you. If you could tell us more about this.
At this point of time, it is slightly in the doldrum, because there are several companies coming up, and the roadmap, to decide the roadmap, they are confused. But I can dream and I can imagine that someday, sitting in any corner of the world, maybe on a hill station in Himalayas, or maybe in Alaska, or maybe in United States, not me or anybody will be able to do, intervention in the patient in the cath lab which is having the robo, because there will be a small bag, you simply keep it with you, open it up, screen, joysticks, and 5G connection, and you are ready to get, go ahead to do the case. But it may take time, but this concept has been floated by me and my team, consisting of Dr. Sanjay Shah and all of us. And for that, at least we will be remembered, and not only us, this country will be remembered for some very original contribution.
How do you hope the field of medicine is going to evolve in the times to come?
It's going to be unbelievable. Every time we see something or other coming up new innovations, and the rate of development of new innovation has become very fast. The branch is changing very fast, and you have to be on toes to keep up with the pace. And I am sure that people will start working at a genetic level to eliminate the disease. That is primordial prevention. The child is in mother's womb, and if you find a problem genetically, you can fix. This is what is going to come. If not now, maybe down the line after a decade or maybe little more.
Dr. Patel, what was the inspiration for you to become a doctor? When did you decide that you would become a doctor?
My father was my inspiration. He was also a physician, and since childhood, this idea was incorporated in my mind that you have to be a doctor. And then in 1978, when I cleared my 10th exam, board exam, first qualified cardiologist started practicing in Gujarat with a DM cardiology degree. At that time, he told me that we must have this degree. At that time, only 10 or 12, or 15 seats were available across the country. And then I continuously pursued working on it. And, whatever you dream and whatever if you pursue your dream, consistently and religiously, honestly, with integrity, I am sure that you get the result.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tejas Madhusudan Patel, for joining us on the telecast, sharing your story, and very, very big congratulations coming to you for this Padma Award. All right, joining also on the telecast right now is the 74-year-old Babu Ram Yadav. He has been conferred with the Padma Shri Award. He has an expertise in carving delicate and fine designs of brass utensils. His contribution to the crafts spans around 6 decades. Thank you so much हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए बाबू राम यादव जी. पहले तो मैं आपको बहुत बधाई देना चाहूँगी इस बड़े प्रेस्टिजियस अवार्ड जो आपको कन्फर हुआ है, उसके लिए आपको कैसा लग रहा है?
अरे साहब, बहुत अच्छा महसूस हो रहा है. खुशी इतनी हो रही है जरूरत से ज्यादा.
आपको कैसे पता चला, कितने दिन पहले पता चला आप, और जब आपने अपनी फैमिली को बताया, अपने कम्युनिटी मेंबर्स को बताया, उनका क्या रिएक्शन था?
ऐसा परिवार बहुत खुश हुआ. पहले तो परिवार यकीन नहीं कर रहा था. जब रात में इसको खबर मिला तो उसके बाद में परिवार बहुत खुश हुआ, क्योंकि काफी अखबार वाले मेरे पास आ चुके थे. जब परिवार को यकीन हुआ कि हाँ, हमारा अवार्ड सिलेक्शन हो गया.
बाबू राम जी, आप अपने बारे में हमें कुछ बताइए. आपका जो ये जो कला है, ब्रास के यूटेंसिल्स पे, ब्रास के ऑब्जेक्ट्स पे, ये जो आप इतनी सुंदर क्राफ्ट्समैनशिप दिखाते हैं, इतनी सुंदर नक्काशी दिखाते हैं, इसके बारे में बताइए.
जी, मेरी पिताजी को प्रेरणा दी मुझे कि आप पढ़ाई नहीं कर रहे तो ये आप अपना काम सीख लो. तो उन्होंने हमें बर्तन के काम सिखाने के लिए दे दिया. हमने ये सीखा सेंटर में, गवर्नमेंट के सन 62 में काम सीखकर हम इसको बराबर करते रहे. हमारे गुरुजी थे श्री अमर सिंह जी, उनके साथ काम करते रहे. हमने उनके साथ काम किया सन 75 तक. जब 75 तक काम करने के बाद में 10-12 साल हम फिर अपना काम शुरू किया. अपना काम शुरू करके हम आज तक ये बराबर काम करते रहे. हमको सन 85 में स्टेट अवार्ड मिला. सन 85 में स्टेट अवार्ड के बाद में हमने और मेहनत की तो हमें राष्ट्रीय अवार्ड पुरस्कार मिला. जब राष्ट्रीय पुरस्कार मिल गया तो हमने और जानकारी करी अपने अफसरों से, हैंडीक्राफ्ट के अफसरों से. तो उन्होंने कहा आप शिल्प गुरु के लिए अप्लाई करो. तो हमने शिल्प गुरु के लिए बनाना शुरू करा. फिर 8-10 साल में शिल्प गुरु मिल गया. फिर जब शिल्प गुरु मिल गया फिर हमने और पूछा तो कहने लगे जी पद्म श्री में अप्लाई कर दो, वो आपके लिए है. तो हमने फिर अब 9 साल हो रहे हैं हमको मिले हुए. सन 2014 में मिला था हमें शिल्प गुरु। अब हमें 9 साल के बाद पद्म श्री का सिलेक्शन हुआ है जी।
जैसा कि आपने कहा कि आपने अपने गुरु के साथ 18 साल बिताए, जहाँ पे आपने ये सारी टेक्निक्स शिल्पकारी सीखी। अगर आप उस समय के बारे में हमें बता सकते हैं, किस तरह की इंटेंस ट्रेनिंग की ज़रूरत है?
उसके साथ क्या बताना साहब, साधारण परिवार था, अपने गुजारे लायक काम करते थे, होता रहता था। अब चलती रही गाड़ी। उसके बाद में फिर ये सोचा कि हम भी अपना कोई आइटम बनाकर बिजनेस करें। तो हमने ये कुछ आइटम बनाए, बिजनेस किया। दिल्ली सेंट्रल कॉटेज गवर्नमेंट का था, तो वहाँ पर हमने इसको बेचना शुरू करा। काफ़ी 10 साल तक हम इसको बेचते रहे। वहाँ यूपी एक्सपोर्ट कॉरपोरेशन बाबा खड़क सिंह मार्ग पर है, उसको बेचते रहे। काफ़ी अच्छा प्रोग्रेस मिला। अब तक उन लोगों के साथ में ही काम करते रहे और अच्छी प्रोग्रेस मिलती रही, जिससे कि अपना साधारण परिवार में गुजारा भत्ता होता रहा सर।
ये जो आपका नक्काशी का काम है और जो ब्रास मेटल के ऊपर आप जो नक्काशी करते हैं, ये इस काम ने आपकी ज़िंदगी को कैसे बदल दिया? और आपको लगता है कि जो आपको सम्मान मिला है, ये नेशनल अवार्ड जो मिला है, नेशनल ऑनर मिला है पद्मश्री का, इससे आपकी क्राफ्ट को और सम्मान मिलेगा और लोगों में इसके बारे में और जागरूकता आएगी?
ये खुशी है कि भारत सरकार हमको मान्यता देती है कि जैसे ओडीओपी योगी जी का प्रोग्राम चलता है और सेंटर चलते हैं, उसमें सब प्रोग्रेस होती है और बहुत सारे काम में प्रोग्रेस होती है। शिल्पकार होने के नाते यही एक अच्छाई है। और जगह जगह प्रोग्राम होते हैं, जैसे कि ये बाहर के प्रोग्राम होते हैं फॉरेन के। मैं सन 5 में मैं फ्रांस गया था, और उसके बाद में सन 5 के बाद में फिर 8 में मैं अल्जीरिया गया था। तो ऐसे प्रोग्राम मिलते रहते हैं। बड़ी खुशी होती है बाहर जाकर कि सरकार कारीगरों को इस तरह से देखती है कि आगे बढ़े कारीगर, और आगे बढ़ने की प्रेरणा देती है, और ऐसी प्रेरणा देती है कि कारीगर बहुत खुश होकर काम करता है।
अगर बात करें, ये जो एक आर्ट फॉर्म है, ये जो क्राफ्ट आप फॉलो करते हैं, ये ज़्यादा लोग इसमें इंटरेस्टेड नहीं होते हैं और ज़्यादा लोग इसको सीखना भी नहीं चाहते हैं। और इस समय और उस टाइम पे आपने एक ट्रेनिंग सेंटर खोला। आपके आसपास जो कि यंग लोग थे, युवा पीढ़ी थी, उनको आपने ये आर्ट फॉर्म, ये क्राफ्ट फॉर्म सिखाया, जो कि अब ताकि आप इंश्योर कर सके कि इसका ये जो आपकी क्राफ्ट है ये आपके तक ही सीमित ना रह जाए, बल्कि हमारे फ्यूचर में भी इसको आगे बढ़ाया जाए। ये आपके पास कितना रिस्पांस आया, कितने लोगों का रिस्पांस आया?
मैंने भारत सरकार ने मेरे को ऐसी स्कीम बताई और दी उन्होंने करने के लिए कि आप जो बच्चे हैं जो काम नहीं करना चाह रहे जा रहे, उनको काम सिखाइए। तो मैंने भारत सरकार को कहा कि साहब इनका वजीफा कुछ होना चाहिए। तो भारत सरकार ने उनका वजीफा रखा। वजीफा रखने के बाद में हम गुरु बनाया हमको भी उन्होंने पैसा दिया कि लो इनको काम सिखाने का पैसा, रॉ मटेरियल के लिए पैसा दिया, जो रॉ मटेरियल इसके अंदर लगता है वो भी हमने खरीदा। भारत सरकार इसके लिए हमारे लिए बहुत प्रोत्साहन करती है और बराबर करती रही है।
जी बाबूराम जी, एक बात बताइए, जो इतने सारे बच्चों को आप अब ये सीख देते हैं, अब ये सिखाते हैं, आर्ट फॉर्म को सिखाते हैं, क्राफ्ट जो आप इतने महीन हैं इसके अंदर, उन सबको सिखाते हैं, तो एक ऐसी क्या चीज़ है कि ये सब आपसे, आप उनके गुरु हैं, आपसे क्या सीख के जाते?
सबसे बड़ा सबक कोई नहीं साहब, अपने दिमाग से ही ये सब कुछ करना पड़ता है। जैसे कि एक मास्टर स्कूल में किसी बच्चे को पढ़ाता है अपने दिमाग से, उसी प्रकार ये सब रहता है साहब।
और एक और मैं आपसे सवाल पूछना चाहूँगी, आप क्या मैसेज देना चाहते हैं भारतवर्ष में, भारत के लोगों को, दुनिया भर में अपने क्राफ्ट के द्वारा ये जो आपको प्लेटफॉर्म मिला है, आज एक नेशनल प्लेटफॉर्म मिला है, सब आपकी बात सुन रहे हैं, सब आपको देख रहे हैं, तो मैसेज क्या देना चाहेंगे पूरे देश भर को?
इस कला को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए मैं भारत सरकार से एक निवेदन करूंगा कि इसके लिए मतलब बच्चों के काम सिखाने के लिए सेंटर बनाए अपना, और मार्केटिंग दिखाए उनको कि मार्केट कहाँ कहाँ उपलब्ध हो सकती है कारीगरों को। जब तक मार्केटिंग उपलब्ध नहीं होगी, जब तक ये कारोबार आगे नहीं बढ़ सकता सर, क्योंकि कारीगर जो है बिना पढ़ा लिखा होता है और बिना पढ़ा लिखा ही कारीगर बन सकता है। इसलिए उसे ऐसी कोई बात मालूम नहीं होती जो बाहर का वो एक्सपोर्ट कर सके या वहाँ तक पहुँचा जा सके उसे। इसलिए वो इंडिया में ही उसके लिए शोरूम बनाया जाए या शोरूम बताया जाए, जिससे कि वो आगे बढ़ सके कारीगर।
हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया बाबूराम यादव जी, अपनी कहानी बताने के लिए। और once again, congratulations are in order for all the unsung heroes of our country who have been conferred with this Padma Award.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.